Good afternoon, everyone. Mississippi and Arkansas River is going to crest at all-time record levels. Everywhere you see an R on this is a new record set for water heights. The grain markets are bracing for massive shifts as traders reverse their positions, meaning they thought the prices were going to fall, and more than half of them now just jumped in going long, meaning they think the price will increase due to the USDA just changing its 4 million acres of non-planting to 13 million acres. And wherever you look, food prices are soaring across the futures markets. You're going to have to start growing some of your own food, period. Whether you're doing it in a planter box like this or whether you're going to wildcraft it and doing something out of nature, I encourage you to start right now. TrueLeafMarket.com, Heirloom and Organic Seeds. Even if you don't buy anything there, they have starter guides to teach you how to grow something. And you need to start growing anything at this moment. Going to start you off here at Mail Online. They had the most images that I saw coming through the reports. That's why I chose this publication. Links are in the description box below for all of tonight's video images. The Mississippi and Arkansas rivers are set to rise to record levels across the Midwest, bracing for more rain, bracing for more record floods. It never ends this year. Arkansas River expected all-time record heights, breaking levees. You should see the amount of cities flooded. Mississippi River cresting at 44 feet in St. Louis. They're just praying that it doesn't overtop into the storage facilities that weren't flooded in flood number 1, flood number 2, flood number 3, and now 4.0 iteration of massive floods. Basically, what wasn't flooded and all the way from Oklahoma and Iowa, this is what the remainder of it looks like going down the Mississippi. And to put this into context here, the National Weather Service, anywhere you see an R, is a projected crest of a new record flood never seen before in 150 plus years of record keeping. We're looking at Van Buren, Ozark, Dardanelle, Morleton, Toadsuck, Pendleton. If you're in any of these areas, and the others are also listed as major floods around Little Rock and Pine Bluff, everywhere is a record flood. There's going to be levee breaches for sure during this event. You're going to have to be taking precautions, and I would pack everything now. You may need to run, have your cars ready, emergency supplies, and get ready to go because this is going to be swift and you're going to have very little warning if a levee breaks. A couple days ago, Cheyenne. Look at the hail depths here. So it doesn't matter really where the crop growing zones are. Central Canada, Canadian border area, central U.S., massive disruptions in agriculture through North America this year. And I want to put this into context. I've been talking for years about how when these events start, our food prices are going to skyrocket. And this is going to in turn affect the economy. Because if your food prices double and triple, you're going to pull that money out of somewhere else in the economy. So here we go, in earnest, it's in play. You've been warned through this video, as well as if you're paying 1/5 of 1/8% across the futures market, and if you follow financial news, there is a gargantuan shift happening today. Grain market shorts brace themselves for history-making event. Now, when I say history-making event in a financial publication, you should definitely stop and read that article twice. So what has happened is the USDA originally put their forecasts out and said there would be 4 million acres not planted in America due to flooding. They just changed that to 13 million acres, literally 3 times higher than what they had forecast. Now everybody who was out on a short position, meaning they thought the price of grains was going to fall, specifically corn, more than half the traders reversed themselves in a single day. And when you have this much shifting from net short to net long, price spikes are inevitable. So looking out here, this is off AgriCensus. I don't have a link for this. You have to go in and sign up for their news feed to get this. I don't have a link to pass to you. You have to do your own research on this, but I left everything so you can keyword search it out through the regular search engines, DuckDuckGo, Google, whatever you're using. So the market commentary for this morning is wheat rally pushes back over $5 a bushel. Just over the weekend, rallying 3%, and it continues upward today. Corn, fresh bout of profit taking, and we saw the reverse shorts on that. Soybean futures, again, up 3% on Friday's close. and it's all about the planting, which is my next point here, because something is very unusual here, what's happening with the reporting on how much planting is going on. I have a first-hand account I'm going to share with you after I share with what the market makers are telling you in the financial news, compared to somebody who's driving through these same flooded field areas, writing a report to me. Let's compare the two. So the analysis on the field work done says that Tuesday's crop report wildly varied, where they're saying corn plantings are expected to be 59 to 65% complete, over 49% a week ago. That's a huge jump anyway, but the fields are saturated. And then we take a look at soybeans, the same thing, up to 25 to 36% complete versus 19% last week. And then at the bottom paragraph, tucked in this nugget here. Now, some analysts saying the current crop is going to be the worst in more than 100 years in the United States. More than 10% of all acreage in the United States is not going to be planted this year. Sodden ground means wet. Now, here's the first-hand account sent to me by Jeff Young. I'm going to read it for you. Rain, rain, rain here in Iowa countryside west of Iowa City. Fields are underwater and many not even planted. I listen to the Ag Report every Saturday, and I'm trying to figure out how in a week and a half the percentage of corn went from 33 to 73% planted, and soybeans went from 3 to 35. Now, on a 30-mile drive to work, I have seen no new fields planted. I also went for a long drive on Saturday, no new fields planted. They have more rain in western Iowa than here, but in a week or so, 40% of the state's corn went in. And the southern part of the state was mostly planted at that time. And in a 10-mile radius of me, not one new field has been planted. Now, reporting on what the farmers are up to, a farmer I work with has got only 60 of 240 acres in, and I asked him about it, and he said, it's possible to plant, but the farmers, what they're going to do now, they're called wet planting. So in order to get the crop insurance from the U.S. government payout, the seed has to be in the ground. Doesn't matter if the seed won't germinate, doesn't matter if it's too wet. He said he's going to wet plant if he can't get it in by the 3rd of June, and by the looks of the weekend forecast, they will be wet planting. There is a huge disconnect between the financial news and what's going on the ground. I think they're trying not to spook, because if truly this is the situation, that's going to be way more than 13 million acres not planted. We're talking a substantial amount of American food not coming in this year. And Canada's barely better off. And everywhere you look around the planet, it's delayed planting. Look over in Europe, what's happening in the Ural Mountains. It's cooler than normal, it's wetter than normal, and our food production this year globally is going to be substantially reduced. So these price plays already at 3% here, 4% over there, that's nothing. I mean, nothing compared to what the price rises are going to be with your food supply as we move forward. It's about the sun, this grand solar minimum, the weakening magnetic field, and no mainstream media wants to talk about this because the science is settled, Galileo. The earliest denier, and right there it is in the center. The sun is responsible for our climate on the planet, and it is shifting into a 400-year period that we haven't seen this before. They talked about in the 1600s in the Maunder Minimum. Perhaps we should listen to our ancestors to know what the future holds for us, because the corporate media is not doing it. You're on your own. You're going to have to go ahead and do your own research. As I said, everything's linked in the description box below to help you get a head start on that. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. If you're looking for more information like this in 30 minutes at a time, Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast, 30 minutes on the go, while you're working out, while you're driving to work, to get yourself better informed so you can protect your family as we move into this grand solar minimum.